Day 6 of Adrian Gonzales trial kicked off on Tuesday, and here's what happened. It's a great day for a great day. My name is Sydney Rushing. I'm a criminal defense attorney in the state of Michigan. Now let's talk about it. Morning started off with the continuation of witness number 19, Mr. Reyes' cross-examination. When the defense started to try and impeach this witness with his prior testimony, the defense said that the government was essentially blaming Mr. Gonzales for basically, the incident, and that was cut off due to an objection by the prosecutor, which the judge sustained the objection as commentary. He showed the witness's prior inconsistent statement where at grand jury he said he knew that the sheetrock that was coming from the wall was from a pew-pew, but the day prior he said that he wasn't sure what the sound was. They discussed more of his grand jury testimony where he said he didn't want to run towards the door to make sure it was locked. Mr. Reyes said that some teachers use magnets to manipulate their door to keep it from locking, and they discussed how the interior doors were not locked that day, and that had an effect on the monster being able to enter the room. Witness number 20, Elsa Avila, then took the stand. She is a 4th grade teacher at Robb Elementary. She discussed the Raptor system and how it's used to alert of emergencies. She discussed the lockdown procedures. She initiated lockdown procedures after hearing commotion in the hall and a voice yelling, "Get in your rooms." She was hit by a metal projectile in her left side when she was standing up trying to get the kids closer to her and away from the windows. Students were comforting her while she was down, but she was unable to respond due to the pain. Law enforcement came and evacuated them. She did say during cross-examination that she heard someone talking to the monster saying, "Sir, we need you to stop. We don't want anyone else to get hurt," but she wasn't sure who it was. Witness number 21 was Erin Robin. She's a 2nd grade teacher at Robb Elementary. She heard 2 popping sounds and she knew that it was a pew-pew. Her door was locked. They went into lockdown, and then an officer appeared in the window and told her to prepare her students to evacuate, and they did so. Then there was a break for the jury. After the break, witness number 22, Deputy Joe Vasquez, was called to the stand. Now he's with the Uvalde County Sheriff's Office. He was off duty on the day of the incident, but received a message about the situation. His daughter attends that school, and he wasn't sure if she was there or not at the time. He got a master key and started opening doors while officers from Uvalde were present, and when asked why he was allowed to do so, he said, "No one stopped me." He went in one of the classrooms and saw the victims and then said that they didn't get shot, but he was expecting to. He explained that although the body cam was not a long time, he said that in that moment, it felt like forever. It felt like it was just took so long. He then went to the Civic Center and was luckily reunited with his daughter. He turned his weapon into Rangers a few days later because he had fired it at the school. On cross-examination, he said he was familiar with the school policies and the doors should have been locked. And then there was an outburst in the courtroom. In the courtroom, Velma Duran, who was the sister of Miss Garcia, who was one of the teachers who was a victim of this incident, she said, "You know who went into the fatal funnel? My sister went into the fatal funnel. Did she need a key? Why did you need a key? Wasn't the door locked?" And then she was removed from the courtroom and was banned from returning for the rest of the trial. Obviously, emotions are very high in this, and my heart goes out to her. And then after that, there was a lunch break. Witness number 23, Teresa Zamaripa, was called to the stand. Now, she's an office manager with the Southwest Texas College Law Enforcement Academy. She testified that Officer Gonzales had 8 hours of active situation training. Officers who attend this training have paperwork, and she read from that paperwork that says that they must recognize that innocent lives must be defended. A first responder unwilling to place the lives of innocent people above their own safety should consider another career field. And then on cross-examination, they discussed his additional training. And witness number 24, Ricardo Guajardo, was called to the stand. He's a Texas Ranger. He was assigned to help safely evacuate students from the school. He also investigated the law enforcement shooting of who opened fire on the monster. He attended some of the witness interviews as well. He interviewed Gonzales, and that interview was played for the jury. During this interview, these are the things we heard. That he was at the high school but heard the crash over the radio, so he went to respond. He heard over the radio that someone had a pew-pew. He called in shots fired over the radio. He saw glass coming out and someone firing at glass, and he told the police department officer to get back, it's coming from over there. He saw the chief and Sergeant Page show up, and they entered the school from the south entrance. He discussed the teacher telling him that he was by the teacher parking lot and was dressed in black, and then he started hearing rounds go off. The Raptor system sent out a notification after the situation had already started. In the interview, he also discussed how he tried to help fellow officer Ruiz because he received a call from his wife that she had been hit and she was dying. They had to take his department-issued pew-pew away from him and sit him down because he tried to make entry. Officer Gonzales didn't fire any rounds during his response, and he never saw the monster. He didn't make entry until there were officers cover the west door. He didn't fire his weapon because he didn't see where the rounds were coming from. He expressed concern about being too willing to pull the trigger. Do we fire and get kids hit? We don't know the status of it. When they entered the school and heard gunfire, they didn't hear any screams or cries for help. If they were injured or doing whatever the lockdown is, they were keeping quiet. Then there was a break for the jury. And then during a brief cross-examination, he said he responded to the scene while the incident was still considered ongoing and the monster was not yet handled. And there was some more back and forth with this witness. And then after that, he was released and the jury was sent home for the day. But that wraps up day 6. Thank you for being here. Thank you for following along. And here's the question of the day. What do you think about the teachers who understood right away what the sound was and others who kept saying, I don't know what that sound was. I didn't recognize what it was. But again, like I said, others were like, I know what this is. Let me know in the comments.